Alex Dorfman, Lessons from Hollywood. Lessons from Hollywood, Alex Dorfman.
Hollywood was part of my childhood. I grew up with TV stars and movie stars. They went to our schools and lived in our neighborhoods. They were normal people to me. One very powerful Hollywood celebrity taught me a lesson I still carry in my heart. This afternoon, I'd like to share that lesson with you. My father worked for Universal Studios for over 35 years. He put in long hours, dedicated himself, climbed the corporate ladder, and became the president of one of the Teamsters Union. He was well trusted. When the studios needed something done right, they could count on my father. My father's name was Isidore. Everybody called him Izzy. They called him Izzy. One person who really trusted him was the great film director, Alfred Hitchcock. By a show of hands, how many people know who Alfred Hitchcock was? Yes, he directed over 63 movies, including The Birds and Psycho. Everybody remembers the famous shower scene in Psycho. After the success of the movie Psycho, Universal put him under contract to make 6 more movies. He was a huge asset for the studios, and they gave him anything he wanted. A luxurious office, a huge expenditure account, a private limousine, and his own personal driver. You'll probably remember Hitchcock's nickname was the Master of Suspense, and his catchphrase was, "Good evening." Alfred Hitchcock's personal driver sometimes would be sick or needed a vacation, and when that happened, he only trusted one other person to drive him. That was my father. Hitchcock's been quoted as saying, "I only want Izzy to drive me." Growing up, I was a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan. I read everything, watched his TV shows, his movies. If the name Hitchcock was on it, I consumed it. When I was 14 years old that summer, I overheard my father speaking to my mother that he would be driving Hitchcock exclusively for 2 weeks while his driver was on vacation. When I heard that, I did what any superfan would do. I begged my father, "Please, Dad, please introduce me to Hitchcock. You've introduced me to so many other people. I'll do anything, Dad." Oh, finally, I like to think out of love for his son, but maybe just to shut me up, my dad agreed. The plan was simple. I would sit in the front seat of the limousine, quiet, invisible, and speak only when spoken to. Hitchcock had other plans. The day finally arrived when I was going to meet Alfred Hitchcock. I was impatiently waiting in my father's office when the limo showed up. I came out of the office. There was my father with the back door open, motioning me to come over and meet Mr. Hitchcock. And there he was, leaning out the back seat of the limo. "Come sit in the back with me, my boy. The front seat is for the driver." I was so excited. A 14-year-old boy was going to sit in the back with Alfred Hitchcock. Wow, I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. I told him everything I knew about him. We shared the same birthday. I had his board game. I watched his TV shows. Everything. And he was so kind. There's this powerful Hollywood celebrity that came down to the level of a 14-year-old boy to communicate with me, to listen to me, to make me feel like I mattered. He was so kind. That day, Hitchcock wanted to take my father and I out to his favorite restaurant in Hollywood, the Musso and Frank Grill. Established in 1919, it's the oldest restaurant in Hollywood, catering to the Hollywood celebrities for well over 100 years. When we arrived at the restaurant, we were escorted to our table in the back. There was looks and there was whispers. We sat down at our table, and I'm sure everybody realizes Hitchcock loved food. He ordered like it was an Olympic event. Roast prime rib of beef with the green peppercorn sauce, loaded baked potatoes, fresh asparagus, sautéed onions, and a broiled lobster. He encouraged my father and I to order the same, as we would not be disappointed, and we were not. I ate my entire meal, and my tummy was happy. Then it happened. Dessert. Hitchcock ordered their famous apple pie. I thought we were each getting a slice of pie. No, he ordered a whole apple pie for each of us. And then he looked at me and said, "Alex, my boy, did you save room for dessert?" No. To continue to be honest with you, no, I did not. But what was I going to say to the master of suspense? I had to eat that pie. The best darn pie I've ever had. Fresh and warm, almost as if it had been baked by angels. When we finished with lunch and dessert, we headed back to the studio where I would get a tour of the soundstage of Hitchcock's last movie. The day I met Alfred Hitchcock was one of the most memorable days of my youth. Not because of the limo ride, not because of the lunch or the pie. It was one of the most memorable days of my youth because Hitchcock came down to my level to talk to me, to listen to me, to make me feel like I mattered. The lesson I learned that day: true greatness is not based upon fame or money. True greatness is based upon how you treat the people you're with, how kind you are to them. Today, whenever I have apple pie, I imagine Hitchcock somewhere in the room with me, reminding me of two very important things. Number one, always lead with kindness. And number two, save room for dessert. Thank you and good evening.